Captain's Log, Subdate 200720.1. I have just observed a rather large group of mermaids passing by. They were not best impressed with my shuttle pod, so I vaporized 50% of them. The survivors have dubbed this the Great Adjustment. So today in my infinite wisdom, I thought what I could do is offer another one of those opinions, because the first three have done reasonably well, so why not? The problem was, moving from cancel culture to free speech to hate crime, there was no natural segue. Therefore, it seemed only right to essentially move on to something else. Fat Acceptance Movement, which the name on its own sounds like a bit of an oxymoron, but I could be wrong. It should be noted from the offset that the Fat Acceptance Movement is often conflated with body positivity. They are not the same, yet many who tout body positivity actually misuse it under the guise of fat acceptance. And some people themselves don't fully understand what body positivity is, so perhaps next week I will do a video on body positivity, because there is a key fundamental difference, and it should be acknowledged in this video because I only want to focus my attentions on the egg I don't like. On this channel, there is a collection of videos. They are the most viewed videos on this channel, the majority of which sit within the Content Constable playlist. There are a few others outside of it. Response videos to JC Penny, Megan Tonjes, addressing Tess Holiday and some of her own comments. Needless to say, it is pretty obvious I am not overly fond, from those videos alone, of the Fat Acceptance Movement, but it is also right, because of the people I've addressed, that perhaps I should address it because they themselves have not. Amberlynn Reid, for example, never talks about the Fat Acceptance Movement, nor does Foodie Beauty. Body positivity, she does. Foodie Beauty, that is. But again, she conflates the two, because much like everyone else who's a little bit stunted, they use a cop-out term to be more victim. So to summarize, it does make some sense that I address some of the comments made by many to justify remaining a size that is dangerous and, by definition, a form of self-harm. Spoiler, I accept that some or many are fat. I accept that some or many have a free choice to do so. In fact, it should be all but different countries, cultures, etc. I accept the individual's right to do whatever they want to their body. I do not accept the idea of peddling this lifestyle to any audience as that of one that could allow someone to live their best life, which won't lead to early health concerns like graves. I do not accept the idea that someone that claims to be oppressed because of their size should require some kind of legal protection akin to that of hate crime law protections. We could certainly go down the path of what is and is not a personal choice and take mitigating factors into account, but at the end of the day, the answer should always remain no. What I often find fascinating about the Fat Acceptance Movement is that there's this weird line. It's a blurred one, and I've mentioned it many times to my own patrons. How is it that when kids are fat, it is an obesity problem, yet the moment they become an adult, it is empowering? The people themselves that are fat are victims, and those same people then go on to misuse body positivity. Over the years of my time on YouTube, I have seen more and more protests. These protests for those that are Fat Acceptance Movement protesters, or FAMP, are quite interesting. A huge number of them are sat on mobility scooters, or require the use of a Zimmer frame, which, while hilarious, is also a damning statement of the quality of life you want to live, because you're then putting yourself in a position where, and I had someone work this out once, it's also been worked out by Shikara Transformations, to maintain the weight of, let's say, 400 pounds, you have to double your daily intake, your recommended intake, or something near to that. The point is, you are having to consume twice what you are meant to have. Now that could be dubbed an addiction problem, a stress, a mental disorder, sure, but that can be treated. To then take it and treat it as if it is a positive aspect of your being is the wrong way to look at it, because there is nothing right with having a compressed spine, loose skin ignoring pregnancy for a second, but loose skin that hangs over your body, creating additional issues health-wise, sanitary-wise, sanitation. Let's not forget here, with all that additional fat, all the additional weight, the lack of movement, internally, you are having some issues, and your issues will compound and happen a lot sooner. There was this lady who did a TED Talk. Bering did a video on her, in fact, linked to his channel below. During the video, he pointed out some of the many mistakes she was making when it came to being the size she was and wanting to be treated differently, but in a positive light, because she was sick of people telling her that she was fat when she knew it. Every other word she spoke required a breath deeper than that of a Hoover. That is not healthy. That tells me your body is under stress. A stress that you are bringing upon yourself. One that can be remedied. In the case of this lady, though, no. F for that lady. She is no longer here. Because health issues arise sooner. People say, oh, doesn't really, it's just statistics. Statistics are derived from actual numbers. That's how we get statistics. If you don't understand statistics, you've kind of failed. Which, I'll be honest with you, is a tad tragic. Fat acceptance as a movement is a failed way of trying to legitimize those who cannot, for reasons, air quotes, unique to them, end air quotes, seem to live within the mundane structure of moderate to ultra-healthy. Even those who rock a mum or dad bod live a typically healthier life to those more famous for taking a sweaty gym pic, only to then go and eat 3,500 calories minimum afterwards. I can, for the most part, accept that the BMI is inaccurate, but I will not accept it to be just plain wrong when spoken by a vertically challenged androgynous slug that takes more meds just to keep failing organs from turning into pate and preventing their face from slipping into their chins. If someone makes the conscientious decision to live as a morbidly obese person, does anyone really care? No, it's only when it's shoved in our faces that we care. It is not, in truth, anyone's business until you make it our business. If you want me to hold my tongue or anyone else, when you want to be empowered as some kind of champion, which I'll get to in a moment, you're choosing the wrong kind of avatar or representation of that champion. Considering what is typically wrong with somebody that is morbidly obese or the health issues, you would fit well for Nurgle. But I'll be honest with you, even Father Nurgle is fat-shaming you. One of the many misused slogans of fat acceptance movement is the term health is self-love, which is an interesting motto when the picture or the three ladies featured in the picture, because apparently there can be no men at Fat Pride, are those that are body positive. And yes, I guess now we can mention the fact that there is a complete lack of guys in this. Interestingly, there's a rather fascinating dichotomy when it comes to the treatment of women and the treatment of men who are big cause insert various, air quotes, unique reasons, end air quotes, here. One of the cringiest things I remember were these cards where people said, I'm a feminist, and insert the reasons here. They did a fat acceptance one of those, and they were no better. They were equally cringe for reasons that nobody really cared about. As a final little thing to address, the fat acceptance movement claims that it wants to teach the general public about the obstacles faced by fat people, their main areas of contention being aesthetic, legal and medical approaches to people whose bodies are fatter than the social norm. Many issues when it comes to treating somebody that are morbidly obese is that when it comes to medicine, their bodies may not react the same way to the same dose of that of someone the regular size. That doesn't mean you increase the dose. It doesn't mean you try something stronger. It means that person needs to bring their weight down so the medicine that they are taking can effectively help them. But try explaining that to somebody that takes offence at the very first opportunity because they are looking for an excuse to be a victim, something which is hardly productive. It might be cathartic to the person who is acting the victim, but in reality, all I'm seeing is somebody taking offence and wasting what air they have, trying to explain why they are right, and the person trying to help them is wrong, cause feels. As I'm done here, I'd love to know what you think. There's more to this, I know, and I'd love to see what you say. So please do let me know in the comments down below. As a final thing, I'm streaming on Twitch tonight. If you'd like to join me, There's a link in the description. Have a cracking Monday, and thank you all for listening.